Hello friends, happy Thursday. I'm Shelly with Art for My Table and we are getting ready to make some fabulous ice cream with only 4 ingredients, no churn. You don't need an ice cream maker and I bet you already have these ingredients at home. This is one of my favorite treats to enjoy. So before we get started, I just have a little bit of housekeeping. I put my notifications up and the recipe up so that you guys can grab it easily. In the meantime, feel free to share this to your timeline because then you'll have a super easy reference to come back to it. And maybe if you have any friends that would enjoy it, you can share it too because I always say sharing is caring. I'm sure you've heard that before. So let me get started and feel free to just pipe in, say hello so I know that you're watching, and let me know where you're watching from. Anything you want to tell me. Maybe, because I've got some stuff happening here that there's always a technical difficulty. Let's try this again. Anyway, while I'm waiting for this, I hope you guys had a good Memorial Day weekend. We did. We had a nice time at the parade. We had some friends over, hung out by the pool, which did get open. A little chilly for me, but it was there. So, okay. I feel like I'm gonna have to come back to this because I'm not being able to see it. Where I can follow your comments and your questions and that sort of thing. So I'm not sure what's going on here. So sorry. Okay, hey Joshua, I'm gonna have you keep watch on this for me. Maybe refresh it or go out, and so I'll just come back to this in a few minutes. Yeah, and we'll do that, and we'll get started. Okay, so healthy ice cream. We love ice cream, and I probably have too much of it in the summer. Actually, my kids ask me for it really year-round, but mostly in the summer. As soon as they're hot, they're asking me for ice cream. So even in Michigan, when it's like 50, 70 degrees, or not 50, 50 or 60, which I think is still chilly, they're like, hey, can we get some ice cream? And I'm like, yeah, no, just because the snow's gone. So anyways, this is a great at-home treat you can have. It's definitely more economical and it's good for you. And if you are one of my Trim Healthy Mama friends, I have some variations to make this very much on plan for you. So it's chocolate peanut butter banana ice cream. And we need to start with frozen bananas. So I just wanted to show you how I freeze my bananas so that they don't stick together. Because if you peel them and throw them all in a bag, they will just stick together and you'll have a hard time getting them apart. Now these are super ripe, so they might even break while I'm peeling them, but not a big deal. So these are like banana bread ready. So, but we're gonna do ice cream instead. Yeah, so they're super ripe. So that's one reason that this recipe doesn't need any sugar or sweetener because it's all in the banana. This one's a half a banana because I ate the other half this morning with my breakfast. And don't worry if there's brown spots or bruises on them, it's totally fine. I got my cameraman behind the scenes here. Is it working now?
No, I tried refreshing it.
Okay.
But there is the thing that says, happening now, cooking with Shelly live.
I know, I already checked it.
Okay.
So anyway, I'll keep checking up on that. Usually I can just watch myself through my laptop. So it kind of serves as my monitor. But I just realized now I've been peeling bananas and you haven't seen any of it. So I'm so sorry.
I fixed it.
Oh, so anyway, here's the bananas. They're peeled. And then what I'll do for this recipe or for a smoothie recipe or anything else, that you might want to use your frozen bananas for, I just cut them usually into thirds, just because that's a good size to fit in, like in a bag in the freezer, or for like a smoothie, like you're gonna put it in your blender. Did it get up and running? No, it's not. That's so weird. I don't know why I can't see that. So here they are. Now, what I've done is I've lined a baking sheet with wax paper, and I've peeled my bananas and I've cut them, and now this is just gonna go in the freezer. After they're frozen, which, you know, it just needs about, I don't know, a few hours to be frozen enough, but I typically just let mine go overnight. So after they've gone and they're completely frozen, let me set these out of the way. Then I'll take them off and I'll just stick them in a plastic bag. And so they might start to turn a little bit darker yellow or a little bit of brownish, and it's fine. It's not a big deal. So that way you can have them ready for smoothie packs or whatever else. So, are there any comments, Joshua?
Well, there was one. I don't remember what it said. It said something like hi.
Oh, okay. I think that was Billy. So, Billy, if you're still watching, hello. Thank you for coming to my kitchen. I'm honored to have you here. So, I just don't, this is like driving me nuts that I can't figure this out. That's just life, right? It's very hard when I can't see what you guys are saying. Did you go out of Facebook completely?
No.
Just bear with me for a second. So for this recipe, we're going to use 4 frozen bananas, and then I'm going to use half a cup of almond milk. I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of natural peanut butter, but I actually made this with peanut flour, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that and why I do that. But natural peanut butter is totally fine. And then we're going to use a couple tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I do have like some, you can garnish it with like some little chocolate chips and some peanuts. You can actually mix that in if you want to. It's going to make it a little bit less healthy. I mean, you know, everything in moderation, right? That's what I always say. Okay, let's see if what's happening here. I'm so frustrated. Okay, enough is enough. Here we go. We're going to take our blender. Now you can do this in a blender, like a high-powered blender that can really break down the bananas, or you can do this in a food processor. Either works fine and great. And I'm going to need 4 bananas. These ones are actually chopped in half, which is fine too, if that works for you and if it fits in whatever you're doing it. Whatever you're making it in. So I'm going to grab these 4 bananas and put them in there. And now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. One little lonely half a banana left. Let me put that back in the freezer. Okay, so adding my almond milk, it's a half a cup. You can use regular milk if you want to. If you want to keep it dairy-free, then use almond milk or cashew milk or whatever your, you could do coconut, whatever your substituted choice would be. And then natural peanut butter. So this is, what I actually use is pressed peanut flour. And this is the Trim Healthy Mama brand. The reason I like their brand is because it is literally just peanuts, defatted and turned into flour, and it just doesn't have any additives in it at all. There's no sugar in it. There's no preservatives. So it's just like the purest form. And so the downside is I have to order it, and Amazon often doesn't even have it. Like I can get some of their products on Amazon, but not all of them. And but the upside is that it's just very pure, and it's makes your content like less fat. So if you're on the Trim Healthy Mama plan, or you have any interest in that at all, this would be a dessert that would fall in the E category. So, and if you don't know what it is, like, don't worry about it. Ask questions if you want to know. I'm more than happy to tell you, but I don't want to spend all the time on that. So what I did was I took a 1/4 cup of the peanut flour, and then I just added water a little at a time and mix it. And this makes me a nice low-fat peanut butter. I believe there's maybe only 4 grams in a 1/4 cup. Yep, 4 grams the total fat in a 1/4 cup. So that keeps it, if you're in Trim Healthy Mama, in the right, without like crossing over and messing up your metabolism. So I'm going to add that. You could probably add just the peanut flour by itself without mixing it up. I just find that I like to mix it up because then I know exactly the measurement. I haven't played too much around with just adding the peanut powder. I wasn't sure how much more liquid I would need. So that's the reason for that. And now I'm going to add my cocoa powder. And now we're going to blend it up. This will get loud. When my Vitamix works extra hard at something, it likes to travel across the counter. So I'm just giving you fair warning. And then the other fun thing is that, not really, I'm being sarcastic. The little plastic piece is missing somewhere, hiding in my kitchen. That's what happens when you give your children family contributions and they empty the dishwasher. Sometimes you can't find things. So you'll see me covering this up with my hand so that we don't have an explosion, although that would probably be real fun. So I have my tamper because sometimes I do need to pound that in because we're dealing with something frozen. And on my Vitamix, I'm going to put it on the frozen dessert setting, but you can just do the regular setting too. I just like this because it's kind of automatically timed and it doesn't heat this up, because a lot of times when you just do it on the regular, there's not really a temperature control for that, but when you're doing something frozen or like the smoothie setting, it'll do that. So, okay. Joshua, I need you to turn my outlet on, please.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. Is it that loud? Every time I'm at a conference, I always ask the Vitamix people every single time, is that normal for it to be so loud? They tell me there's nothing wrong with it. So can you guys see it okay?
Oh.
I can't even monitor my cameraman right now because I got nothing on Facebook Live. So, all right, awesome. So now what we're going to do is just pour this into a container. Now you can eat it just like this, and it's like a really soft serve. But I freeze mine. I prefer to freeze it overnight, but at least 6 hours is about what you need. And the thing is it thaws really fast, so even if it's a little harder for you to, you let it freeze overnight and you feel like it's a little bit harder for you to scoop it out, if you just give it a few minutes on the counter, it'll be totally fine. And then I recommend that you cover it and just stick it in your freezer nice and level, and let it do its thing. And I will show you what it looks like afterwards because I just happen to have some ready. Set that aside and let me grab it out of the freezer. Okay, now I made this yesterday. This is actually going to be on the blog very, very soon, but it's not up yet. However, I did put the recipe, well, I tried to put the recipe in the description, except that I can't see my post right now on Facebook, so usually I just put it in there right away at the beginning. I will put the recipe in the description. How about that? But my children enjoyed this yesterday, so it doesn't look all pretty like the one that I just did, but I'm able to show you how delicious this is. And yeah, it's pretty hard, so this is going to need just a few minutes. So while we're waiting for that, I'll go ahead and just get this covered up. Joshua, can you grab the saran wrap, please? So
I'm going to have to move your light.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, so while we're waiting that, let's just talk about freezing bananas. So I'm curious, do any of you freeze your bananas? Is this something that's new to you or not? There's so many different uses that you can put, so many different things that you could put them in. So you can freeze them and then let them thaw and use them in your banana bread or any, muffins, pancakes, any recipe that you would use like a mashed up banana. So a lot of people wonder too, can I mash it up first and then freeze it? Absolutely. Just put it into whatever portion size you need. So I think I've got a couple recipes that call for like a cup of mashed bananas. So I'll just mash it up, which is usually around 3 bananas. And then you can freeze it just like that in a portion, let it thaw, and then go on to make your recipe. A lot people also ask too, can I just throw them in the freezer without peeling them? You can, and when they're frozen, you just take the tip of a knife and kind of score it, and then you should be able to take the peel off that way. I prefer to just peel them first, and to me that's just easier. Then I just pick them up, throw in a bag, and everything is ready for when I need it. So I think there's something else I was going to mention about frozen bananas, and now I cannot remember. So yeah. This is normally not this hard, so I would definitely say this has been overnight. So for my post that I've been working on, I let it go about 6 hours, I think. Yeah, before it was really nice and firm and I could photograph it. Did you know it's really hard to photograph ice cream in 80-degree weather? It really is. And I know it doesn't look very creamy right now, but it really is. Just have to trust me on that. Yeah, it really doesn't take that long. So I'm sorry this isn't coming out all beautiful, but I promise that first scoop that you take is dreamy. It's dreamy and it's creamy and it's sweet and delicious. I'm not using my water technique. Do you guys know the water technique, the frozen thing? Let me grab my cup. Let's put cold water in a tall cup. You know how your ice cream wants to stick to the spoon like that? So after you do this every scoop. You might see them do this in ice cream shops, maybe, if you've ever noticed. But just dip it into cold water, and then it should, I say, because nothing ever goes exactly right when you're doing a live program. Maybe that's why they haven't hired me yet on Food Network. Well, that's not even live, so we could edit all this out. So, just giving me problems. It's giving me problems today. I promise. It doesn't normally look like this. Oh well. I can guarantee you it tastes good. Joshua, do I have any comments or questions?
No.
Okay. I must be explaining everything really well then. So,
Actually, you don't have any watching.
so, once I have it all in there, my portion of ice cream, then I can go through and garnish it. If you want to, I'll garnish it with some peanuts and a few chocolate chips, just for fun and to make it look pretty. So you'll have to check out my blog post, because then you'll be able to see each process step by step the way it's supposed to look. So, but you know what? Sometimes this happens. Life just happens. So for Trim Healthy Mama, a couple of things that I wanted to share with you about that. You can eat this. This would be an E, and you could eat this after an E meal as a dessert. But you need to just watch your carbs. Make sure that your carbs on your E meal are not more than 20, because in Trim Healthy Mama isn't really about counting everything, but when I kind of get stuck, I count. It's sort of like what I fall back on, and it's really hardly often at all. But with bananas, I know they're already like a high carb count. So this should serve 4 people, a nice generous serving. So there's probably about 24 carbs in each serving. So that's why you want to balance that out. Your other option, if you wanted to eat this as a snack, you could try adding to the blender, you could try adding cottage cheese. You can also add either collagen or whey protein, something, you know, a protein powder if you have one that you like. I'm really picky on my protein powders because, again, I don't like any additives. I don't want any sweeteners. I just want 100% isolate protein. So, but those would be a couple of ways that you could make this then be on plan, just individually by itself. And probably need to leave off the peanuts and the chocolate chips. But, you know, sometimes I'll just go over a little bit on something and not stress about it, because life's too short. You just have to enjoy things. But if you're really trying to lose weight on it, then you need to be a little more conscientious. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that you are going to have a great weekend. I'm sure you are. Summer feels like it's officially arrived here, so hopefully no more cold fronts coming through the Mitten State. But my family and I are headed to the Creation Museum this weekend and to the Ark Encounter. So we've never been. If you have been there and you have tips, please list them in the comments below. So I will get the recipe description up for you. For more great recipes, you can find them at artformytable.com. And if you want to be notified when I have a new recipe, or just have recipes delivered to your inbox and tips and tricks for the kitchen, you can sign up for my newsletter, which is also in the description, and just check it out. So basically, I'm emailing you about once a week, and if you check it out and you decide I don't like this, just unsubscribe. No hard feelings. But anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.